time once again for another Chicago Bears pregame show right here on the Kanika Sports Channel as we look ahead at this Sunday Soldier Field matchup between the Chicago Bears and the Cleveland Browns, led by quarterback Shedeur Sanders, everybody. Yes, I am breaking the Chicago voice to welcome you all to another show. I am your host, Kenny, and I am joined on this pregame show by my lovely co-host, Nika, everybody. Yes, indeed, Nika's in the house.
Woo! Hello, Kenny, and hello to our new and returning viewers. Welcome to the Week 15.
Welcome to Week 15. The Bears are relevant, everybody.
They are.
We did lose at Green Bay last week, but we are still fighting in that 7th playoff spot right now, looking to change our fortunes this weekend as early as. This game against the Browns, we are going to be looking at the key injuries on both sides, Kenny's keys to victory, hey, that's me, and the odds and ends. What are the betting markets suggesting is going to happen at the end of this Bears-Browns game? But first, if this is your first time here, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell for our mascot, Freckles, a.k.a. Frexy. She is the #1 Bears doggo fan in the world.
She's really excited for the game, too.
She is. She just gets up every morning and says, is it Sunday yet? Is it Sunday yet? Is it Sunday yet? Trust me. All right. Well, it is time to look at a little bit of news and of notes and event-worthy happenings around Bearsland this week as we look at what happened on social media and a very business-like week here on the Bears social media side of things. You know, there wasn't a lot of glitz and glamour, not a lot of Thanksgiving celebrations, not a lot of Walter Payton Man of the Year awards. So we kind of got back to a little bit of a normalcy, I guess.
I see.
And that's a good thing right now for this Bears team coming off this loss at Green Bay. This is when you need to refocus.
Yes, stay focused. All hands on deck for the game.
Because you have Green Bay, and then you have this Cleveland game, and then you have Green Bay again. And it's very easy for this Bears team, I think, to possibly overlook the Browns. And you can't do that, folks. You just can't do it. And the only thing that gives me a lot more hope and faith going into this Sunday game than maybe usual is that we have a great head coach now, you know, and I feel like if there's anybody that's not going to let the Bears get complacent at this moment in their season, it's Ben Johnson. So that's what I'm choosing to believe. That's what I'm going with heading into this matchup. But this matchup is going to be a cold one, folks. Oof. It is going to be a cold one. In fact, the Bears social media team has already put out warning and safety alerts for the game Sunday. If you are attending, it could get below 0, especially with the wind chill right next to Lake Michigan. So dress warm, dress for the occasion. Know what they are serving at the stadium. Hot cocoa, coffee, and some chili at some of the select stands.
That's good.
You can bring a blanket inside the stadium, but it has to meet certain compliances. So go check out the Bears website. I got this article screenshot for you here so you know what you're looking for. And yeah, go check that out if you're going to the game so you know how to be prepared for this bear weather. Meanwhile, Bears postseason tickets are now on sale, Nika. And I thought this was kind of humorous because it happened after the Bears came off this Packers loss. And they're now the 7th seed in the NFC, which means there's like virtually no way for them to ever have a home game right now in the playoffs. Not saying that that can't change before the end of the season, but it's just ironic to me that they waited until after they were in position to not host a playoff game to then make the season ticket holders purchase tickets for a home playoff game. The Bears are hoarding your money basically for the next, 2 months until they decide that, we didn't make it and we're going to issue refunds.
That's going to be a pain in the ass to get it back.
Yeah, I mean, this just felt a little bit like short-sighted. And I think all these selling of tickets and stuff, like there needs to be some kind of change in policy here, NFL wide. I know that this is probably pocket change to season ticket holders. So nevertheless, like the idea of waiting for your credit card to get refunded while you have like a $10,000 playoff ticket package on there or some ridiculous price, whatever it is, $2,500 even.
Yeah.
And who cares? It still is going to take them longer than before your payment is probably going to be due on that purchase. So you will potentially be paying interest on your playoff tickets that never happen before the money gets refunded. I just find that all ironic and amusing and hilarious, but it is what it is, folks. Speaking of which, when you are a team that is in the hunt for a playoff spot in December, you tend to get recognized for this, which is the NFL Pro Bowl. And the vote is on for 2026 Pro Bowl voting, I guess.
Who votes for it? Or where you vote?
Well, basically, right now, the voting for the Pro Bowl is happening via Twitter and retweeting, as far as I can tell. That I
seems
keep
to be really
seeing
good.
Retweet to Pro Bowl vote. So if you retweet somebody's tweet that has that in it, somehow it gets registered and counted. I don't know, but yeah, keep retweeting away for those Bears. If you look at the current standings, everybody, we got a couple leaders up there, Nika. We got Kevin Byard III, of course, and Joe Thuney on the offensive line. Both of those players, by the way, are captains on this Bears team. So take that for what it's worth. And then you'll see a couple of people in the number 2 spot, Nishan Wright and Drew Dahlman. So get those votes out, everyone. Support this team. Caleb Williams, not quite there yet. Number 8th amongst QBs in the NFC. So he's about the middle of the pack.
This is his second year.
Don't stop voting and don't stop supporting. We're going to have a little deep dive on Caleb here before we get out of here today, I promise. But for now, the Bears Pro Bowl vote. Get out the vote for these guys, especially for Kevin Byard, Joe Thuney, Drew Dahlman, and Nishan Wright. They deserve it. They've had excellent seasons.
So if you have a Twitter account, basically go vote.
Yeah, if you have a Twitter account, go vote for these Bears.
All right.
And before we move on to the important news regarding this game, I just wanted to give a shout out to Luther Burden III, the Bears' second draft pick overall in the 2025 draft class. He is celebrating a birthday today.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to Luther Burden III. All right. The one thing I will say about Luther Burden III is a lot of people around social media land and in the Bears orbit feel that potentially Luther Burden III has a higher ceiling than Rome Odunze.
Oh.
Interestingly enough. Now, that's not to take anything away from Rome, because I do think, he is a very, very talented wide receiver. I just think Luther Burden III may have been overlooked by some other teams in the NFL draft. And he's been known to be a little bit edgy, and I feel like Ben Johnson is getting a reputation early on that perhaps he can work with those kinds of players and he can make them feel valued and productive and maybe get rid of some of their bad mistakes or some of their, the personal foul kind of mistakes, where they can put your team in a bad position.
So he turns players around, basically.
I think he just is able to work with the more Tommy Phams of the world, I guess, when it comes to the bad boys of the NFL. And I feel like Ben Johnson might have an aptitude for being able to work with those players and get the most out of them for the benefit of the team. It is great.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
There might be like a whole bad boys, you can find a home with Ben. So who knows? We'll see what's happening. Kevin Byard III, we mentioned him, the leading Pro Bowl vote getter right now. He is focused on Cleveland, everybody. And I want to start to turn our attentions to this game because this is a trap game, if there ever was one, for the Bears this season, with the 2 Green Bay games serving as the bread of this sandwich. And the Browns come in, and the Bears just are in a place where they look like they should win this game easily on paper.
They do.
Nevertheless, Kevin Byard says we have to be playing our best ball this time of year, and it starts this week against Cleveland. That's captain talk right there. You see the C on his chest. He is, doing his part to make sure the Bears stay focused on the Browns right now and not looking ahead to that rematch with Green Bay next Saturday.
You got to take one game at a time.
You have to. So with that being said, the Bears tweeted out, all eyes are on Sunday. and they were practicing outside in the winter wonderland that is the Chicagoland area right now. But it is not as cold as it's going to be this weekend. The temperature is going to drop tomorrow on Saturdays. I looked ahead on that. So even though it looks cold, it's about 30 so degrees out there right now. Nothing close to like the 5 that it might be around game time on Sunday.
That's cold.
It is cold for sure.
That's cold.
All right, so let's start where we usually start on this show with some injury news for these teams. And I want to start with the Chicago side of things this week because good news is their list is very, very short for this time of year.
Cool.
And we only see 7 names on this injury report. Only 2 of them are not practicing at all right now, which is, I think, one of the shortest injury lists we've seen this season for the Bears. Now, I want to start with the bad news because Kyler Gordon is not practicing this week, and he went down during warmups versus Green Bay. And this is just shortly after like he was supposed to come back, or maybe he did play a game. I don't remember. I think he did play the one game before Green Bay and then immediately goes out again. He's had such an injury-riddled season, and it's becoming a pattern with him, I feel like. And so
he's not going to play most likely.
He's definitely, I would say, going to be out on Sunday. Now, the good news is Rome Odunze and Tyreek Stevenson are both moving again.
Okay.
They are limited in practice. I would say that this is a positive development, but I wouldn't put the cart before the horse and say that they're guaranteed to play this week because of the Browns' record and because of where the Bears are at. They may want to risk holding them out and making sure that they are 100% ready to come back for that next game versus Green Bay, and not just the Green Bay game, but for the stretch run.
Okay.
This is the weakest opponent we have left on our schedule this season. And like I said, this is a game the Bears could probably just go out and run every play and probably win this game if they play smart, fundamental football.
Yes. The weather might play a factor, though, because of the cold.
It might. We played last week
Sure.
in cold weather in Green Bay, so we looked fine.
Yeah.
Not the whole game. Obviously, the first half left a lot to be desired, but it's possible.
It's possible, sure.
So, yeah, keep your eye on Rome and Tyreek. Like I said, I don't know if I would put money on them playing in this game. They've been limited in practice both Wednesday and Thursday. We'll see if they're upgraded at all this afternoon, but we don't know at this time.
Okay.
We also have Zacchaeus with a new hamstring injury. I say new because I didn't remember him getting a injury announcement during the game. And he did make a couple of nice catches in this Packers game, including that touchdown pass, the one that no one knows how Caleb threw it to him. Anyways, so he has been limited in the first 2 practices of this week as well. That was kind of a surprise and a little bit concerning, but ultimately we do have Luther Burden III. We do have DJ Moore. There are other receivers on this list besides Rome Odunze and Olamide Zacchaeus. So shouldn't ultimately hold the Bears back too much. Now for Cleveland, it is a long list of injuries here, and we're going to focus on kind of the more surprising elements of this list, and that would be starting on defense. Shelby Harris, the defensive tackle, he has a knee. He was not listed on Wednesday's injury report, and yet he is limited in practice on Thursday. So a bit of a surprising development there if you're a Browns fan, probably, and maybe that gives you a little bit of nervousness. And then you also have Grant Delpit. He is a safety. He has a illness and a groin injury, both. He did not practice Wednesday, but he was limited on Thursday. So I don't think that illness is going to keep him out, but we'll have to wait and see if it's the groin that keeps him from playing. On the offensive side of things, it's mostly the offensive line for the Browns that is looking troublesome, with Tevin Jenkins being on this list with a shoulder injury. He was limited on Thursday. We'll wait and see if he's upgraded at all today or before this game and what his classification is going to be. Okay. Zach Zinter as well is also an offensive lineman that found himself on this injury report. And he has a back injury. He was limited as well on Thursday, did not practice at all Wednesday. So these injuries were deemed by the Bears media to be surprising. Okay. Like they were not expected to be on the injury report. And then they showed up on Thursday like, whoa. Like I said, Shelby Harris, Tevin Jenkins, and Zach Zinter all not listed on Wednesday's injury report. This is like going to lead into my Kenny's keys to victory, because my first key involves the injuries. Actually,
Okay.
you cannot let up on this team because of their record or this injury report. Just get it out of your head right now. You know, you have men that have nothing to lose. The Browns are eliminated.
Yep.
They have nothing to lose, and they are fighting for their future monies. They are fighting for their future worth on this field right now.
Absolutely.
Do not take that lightly.
Yep.
Shedeur Sanders is wanting to prove himself to the entire football world. I'm not saying he's going to do that, but he hasn't looked horrible out there. Like, he hasn't looked like the decrepit 5th round pick that everyone wanted him to be. So I like Shedeur Sanders, actually, and I'm rooting for him in the NFL. I'm just rooting for him not this weekend.
That's understandable for sure.
So don't let him beat you. That's my first key to the game. And don't let up on this Browns team because of their record and because of their injury. You have to continue to play your brand of football, and that includes forcing the Browns into turnovers, everybody. The Browns do make turnovers. They are at a -1 turnover differential for the season. They are ranked 16th in the NFL. Far from the first place Bears when it comes to the turnover differential, which is a +17 now.
That's nice.
Very nice. The second key to victory for the Bears in this one is to continue to dominate in the run game and the time of possession game. As you can see, the Bears rank 6th in points per game. They rank 5th in yards per game, and they rank 5th in time of possession per game. And that is not a coincidence, folks. The Bears have been holding on to the ball a lot longer than their opponents. And even though it didn't work out in their favor against Green Bay last week, holding the ball almost 7 minutes longer than the Packers throughout that game, I would still want the Bears to be doing this. It is not why they lost the game.
Right.
You know, so the Bears need to continue to flex this muscle. They need to continue to win that battle up front at the line of scrimmage when it comes to running the football. So that's pretty important in this one. But just as important is the passing game. I think we all saw how just not being in sync even early on in the game can put you in a hole if you're the Bears. And we saw it rear its ugly head last week, you know, with the Bears going into halftime down 14-3. They failed to score points after getting a huge interception off of Jordan Love in the first quarter of that game. And they just miscued right out of the gate. Caleb was 1 for 6 or something to start the game, and just can't have that. No. You know, you gotta show up and be prepared. And especially on those first drives, the Bears have been so good this year. So hopefully there's a re-emphasis on that this week in practice to reorient that ship. The Bears have been really good at moving the ball early on in their drives on these games, and so they need to get a little bit of that mojo back, especially against a team that they should beat.
Absolutely. And the Bears versus Packers, the Bears were too amped up. There was so much focus on the rivalry, where this week there's not so much. It's just a football game.
You're right. You know, you saw it last week when the Bears did settle into their own, that they were the better football team on the field. I could make that argument. They won the second half of that game. But despite the Packers' big plays, you know.
The problem was it took them a half a game.
Yeah, we'll get to all of this. But the other thing is they have to be more opportunistic in the pass game. And the one danger that the Browns do present to the Bears is their pass rush. The Browns are 3rd in the NFL in sacks. They have 44 on the season, and one of the big reasons is because of Myles Garrett. And so the Bears need to protect Caleb Williams from Myles Garrett. They can't just rely on Caleb to be Houdini and the escape artist all the time and run out of the pocket and scramble and make big plays like he did in the second half against Green Bay last week. So,
but they did practice on Micah Parsons. So
they did, yeah. They did well against Micah Parsons. They kept him virtually
irrelevant.
Now, he was very relevant on the game because he had like 8 quarterback pressures or something. So he was putting pressure.
Right.
But
the
he
Bears
didn't get
responded
to finish. And so, yeah, bring that moral victory into this matchup. But also, if the other injuries on the Browns defensive line now actually come into it, that should help the Bears focus on Myles Garrett even more in this game. So
yeah.
we'll wait and see what happens. Now, the last key here is I want to say this is that there's 4 weeks left in the season still. That's a month of time in games. It's almost a quarter of a season. They play 17 games. So 4 games out of 17 is nearly 25%. In the old days, it was because they only played 16.
Okay.
So in the old days, when you had 4 games left, it was actually a quarter of your
yeah.
season. But what I'm trying to get at here is that Caleb Williams can still get better right now before the end of the year, before the playoffs start. He is capable of still improving. He's at a young enough age, and we like to see growth over the course of a season. And the season is not over yet. There's a whole quarter of football left to play. That tells me that there's still time for him to continue to even get better. It's not like he's reached his capacity this year and we have to wait till the offseason next year before it all gets better again.
Right.
But I'm not expecting it to just jump from where it's been to 70% either. I'm not saying that. But he's growing every week. He made a mistake to end that game last week. So, he's got to take that with him into this week and show that he gets off to a better start, for one, and, not turn the ball over like he has against the Steelers. He did against the Packers. It's not easy out there, folks.
No, and the Packers are a competitive team.
Absolutely.
It was really hard. And here we're going to have a home field advantage, which will be potentially helpful.
Absolutely. I just wanted to get that out there because I feel like there's this emphasis that Caleb needs to be a game manager, and that's what he is right now. And I don't necessarily agree with that. I think the Bears need to be, just like I said, more opportunistic in the pass game. We actually found ourselves in agreement with Colin Cowherd this week when he was talking with Tom Brady. He's asking, is completion percentage important right now for Caleb Williams, or is just making big plays important? And I would say it's more the latter. He needs to make big plays in big moments, and he will get better and reach that 70-75% completion mark over time. You give him time. Okay?
Experience.
Give him time and experience.
Absolutely.
All right, well, with the keys to victory now wrapped up, it is time to turn our attentions to the betting markets for this game and look at what Vegas is saying, everybody. And they have the Bears winning big in this game. In order to cover, the Bears will have to win by 8 points or more over the Browns because the line has been set at 7.5.
Okay.
That is a big point spread for any game in the NFL. For any game. So that's another reason it just plays into this whole idea that this is a trap game.
Right.
And the over-under is set at 38.5, which is one of the lowest we've seen.
Okay.
And so that tells me that Vegas likes the Bears defense over the Browns offense. And, they have the Bears offense doing just enough management to beat the Browns, pretty handedly in this game. I think they also are looking at the weather. And they are seeing that the elements being close to 0 degrees is possibly going to make this a low-scoring affair.
I would agree with that.
I would agree with that, but I would also point out that it's not a given because we saw the Green Bay Bears game in Green Bay go over last week.
That's true. So it could
happen.
happen.
And that was in pretty bad weather conditions as well. So I just don't know if the cold weather kills the points as much as they believe it does.
Okay. Fair enough.
So now when we turn our attentions to the poly markets, everybody, the poly markets have the money line going heavily in favor of the Bears, 77% to 23% right now. So the Bears heavily favored by the bettors to just outright win this game. But with that point spread being as high as it is, the money is slightly favoring Cleveland, I guess. It is kind of a push, 52 cents to 49 cents when you look at the graphic right now on Polymarket.
As of today.
As of today.
Okay.
Now, they have the over-under at 39.5 and 40.5, and the 40.5 is being bet heavily under, as well as the 39.5. So I don't know if they just haven't caught on to this 38.5 and it's just going to be dropping rapidly as we approach kickoff and that weather forecast becomes more close to being 100% accurate. But nevertheless, that's where we stand with the poly markets heading into this one. So Nika,
You're going to ask.
where do you think that the Bears will end up in reality with a prediction for this Sunday morning matchup?
I'm going to go under, actually, because of the weather.
Okay.
So the Bears will win 23-12 or something like that.
23-12.
Lower scoring game.
Okay. So that's a couple of touchdowns and 3 field goals for the Bears and 4 field goals for the Browns.
Sure.
All right. Quick math lesson there for y'all and football scoring. Okay. Well, I also going to choose the Bears, but I'm going in a different direction. I think the Bears win this one big, 31-17. They are going to rush for over 200 yards as a team, and Caleb will also play well in the cold weather. He'll have a better start and take care of business in this one.
All right. I like it.
Yeah, we're going to go over, and we are going to take care of business, basically, is my mantra for this week. And as soon as the game ends on Sunday, we will be celebrating a Bears victory and all turning our attentions to the other big games that are happening Sunday afternoon, because the Packers are playing at Denver,
Yes.
which is just a monumental game.
It is.
And not to be outdone, of course, is we have the Lions traveling to Los Angeles to take on the Rams. Both of those games have heavy, heavy implications on what happens to the Bears after this week, especially if the Bears win. So go take care of business. Go push these guys around like I know you're capable of and win this football game.
Absolutely.
Don't let up.
The weather might actually be a beneficial factor, because you have to keep moving in order to stay warm. So I kind of like your approach with the high scoring game.
Yeah, I know it's going to be cold and there might be some wind chill, but I don't know if it's supposed to be like 30-mile-an-hour winds and stuff. That obviously can change your approach. But if it's just cold, like you can throw.
Yeah, of course. And
I've seen him do it. So, yeah, I agree. I don't know. And I know with Rome and with potentially Zacchaeus being out, both, it does make our wide receiver core a little thin. But we do have 3 tight ends, 2 of which are very, very good.
Yeah.
And we have 2 very, very good wide receivers with Luther Burden and DJ Moore. So, and we need to get DJ Moore involved again. Like, people are saying that he and Caleb are not connecting online and that he needs to get traded in the offseason. And
Oh, jeez.
I'm not there yet. Again, there's a month left of football games, guys.
Patience. Exercise some patience.
Let Caleb continue to get better. Like,
Yeah.
push him to get better still. We don't have to accept it for what it is right now. There's time.
Go Bears.
Go Bears.